started out a day like any other. And then it carried on that way. It's too early. It's too early, but hello, welcome. My name is Peter, as always, and it's good to see you all. Look, this is me leveraging my immense popularity, like I should be, to get some free stuff just every once in a while, okay? Cool free stuff, including this which I have to share with you, including the shirt. This is stuff I got from Studio Cult. They sent it to me, okay? They sent it to me for free. I'm sharing it with you. And look, it's the same thing as is on my desk. I'm wearing my desk. I wore that shirt at school the other day, and at least one person recognized it. Said, and they're like, "Oh, is that that's a?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a cutting mat." Yeah. Also, they sent me this shirt, which is the. It's like the water. It's like how clouds work. Alto cumulus, cumulonimbus. My favorite. Actually, I'm a huge fan of clouds. Big cloud fan over here. So, also very exciting are these enamel pins they have that they sent me a bunch of. Let me zoom in. Check that out. It's an enamel pin that looks like old school MS Paint. And I have another one. Don't make fun of me, okay? Look, I have another one on my backpack here that looks like a color picker in Photoshop. And someone made fun of me already. When I posted this on Twitter, they made fun of me for having a backpack that makes me look like a visco girl, they said. I don't really know what that means, but I guess it's, do I have a girly backpack or something? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't know. I just saw a backpack I liked, and I bought it. What would they say if they knew I was wearing Uggs, you know? Who cares? Really, they sent me more enamel pins than I have real estate for. We got a Photoshop one and an Illustrator one. I'll probably give these to people at school with the requirement being that they know what these programs are, you know, so they'll appreciate them. Spread the love, you know. So thanks for sending those to me. Check them out, Studio Cult. Anyways, all right, we do have some pen review action to actually get into today. To the best of my knowledge, there is some sort of pen in here. We will review it and hopefully draw with it. See what the deal is. Oh, all right. Looks pretty nice right off the bat. Check it out. It says Trustella, I think, calligraphy set. It's almost exactly the same aspect ratio as my camera, which is actually pretty satisfying. Okay. I like it because it's just like a pretty good presentation, but it's not overly like it's just like still just a piece of construction paper. Like it's not too expensive to. Oh, one just flew out of there. It's not too expensive to the point where like it would drive up the price artificially, because like sometimes you buy calligraphy sets like this and it's like a fancy gift box that makes it way too expensive. But like, I'm not going to use the box again. I just want a good pen for the price, right? So it's still a nice presentation. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see here. Looks like, oh my goodness. There's a hole. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe you just put is this like a holder? There's a hole in the bottom of it though, which makes me wonder. All right, let's take inventory here. Wait, quick video cut. I'm gonna take all of these out of the bags, okay? All right, there we go. So from what I can tell here, this seems to be some sort of dip pen and calligraphy kind of starter set. And there is a extremely wide variety of nibs here. I'll give you a closer look. I don't have a huge level of experience with most of these kind of nibs. I guess we can try most of them out. Well, this one looks like a hand pointing a finger. You see that? And then here we have some like flat nibbed pens for like doing calligraphic stuff. And we have different holders here. So you can, I think you can take this out, right? And then if you wanted to, you can put, I'm gonna put this one in there because it entertains me. I've always kind of wanted to be able to draw with my fingertips, so this is kind of fulfilling a fantasy of mine. Am I doing something wrong? I feel like I'm pushing way too hard. Wait. All right, I got it in there. That looks pretty cool, actually. Do you think this is just putting in here when I'm not using it, like so? Like one of these? Nice glass bottles of ink here. All right, the problem is I've taken most of my paper to school at this point. I don't have a lot of it here. Nice little, it's like suction cupped there. No leakage. That's good. I remember a recent package I had where there was some ink leakage going on. Anyone else remember that? It was all over my hands. Okay. A little dip action here. I always write test, don't I? Oh, that's actually very satisfying. I'm not sure how often you're supposed to have to dip this sort of thing. Oh, I forgot how to write hello. I'll just write my normal nonsense. With the smiley face every now and then. All right, so it feels like the amount of ink in there could, this is maybe a bit of a novelty tip I'm using right here. Maybe that's why the ink doesn't last too long, but it's still very satisfying to write with. I'm gonna clean this one off. Is there a special way I should clean these off so they don't? In the past I've had nibs get rusty, but that could have been a different kind of nib. Maybe as long as I dry them well, they won't get rusty. It's kind of tight in there. There we go. All right, let's try one that's a little bit different. Wait, let me try the default nib actually, because there's some default nibs that come in here. They look actually pretty nice. This is like the default nib that came in the holder. Oh, I might have dipped that way too deep. Hello. Oh, that's actually a really nice line. This one feels less scratchy. I think this nib has like a ball point. Ball point. Smooth. I mean, I'm still only getting like 3 words per dip. 3 words per dip. Or more? Maybe? Maybe that's standard. Like I was saying, I don't really know. I don't have a huge amount of experience with dip pens. Still very satisfying though. Maybe I think it's one of those things you just maybe get used to. Just write a few words, dip, write a few more, dip. Let's see if this one flexes much. This one doesn't seem to flex quite as much, this nib. That last one, that was the hand and the finger, seem to flex a little more. Let me try out one of the other holders and a different kind of nib. And let's try a different color of ink. Let's try the green ink. There's like a little rubber stopper in there. It's annoying to get off the first time, but I think it's actually very good as far as keeping things from leaking in transit, you know? Let's try one of these calligraphy nibs. Yeah, see how it has a flat tip right there? Okay. I could be doing something wrong. Obviously, obviously I don't actually know how to do any calligraphy, but if you're out there and you know how to do calligraphy, hopefully you can tell by my stunted strokes whether this would work for you or not as far as your calligraphy practice. The green is a nice shade. It seems to, you know, it's like it lays it down pretty thick on the first stroke there. All right, we have a lot of nibs to get through. I feel bad for dwelling too long on one of them. I'll try the last holder. Let's see here. Let's switch colors again. Let's go with the blue. The red, I think, is the one I'm most excited for out of all the colors. Bloop. Maybe one of these funky nibs. I'll do the middle one. Oops, the whole thing came out. See how there's like a break? It doesn't go all the way around. I think maybe I'm supposed to stick it in like this way. You know, it seems to hold it the best that way. There we go. Look at that. That's a pretty intricate nib design, don't you think? There's probably like a YouTube video or video instructions I'm supposed to be looking at somewhere, but I don't really know why I'm dipping it the way I am, but I'll admit I don't understand this nib, or how I'm supposed to hold it or push it down to the paper. There'll probably be people in the comments really letting me know. I think I'm getting there a little more now. I feel like it's kind of like this calligraphy nib, except like the edges it's a little more rounded, you know? Excuse my pointless scribbling. I keep on finding new reserves of ink in this pen. I feel like if I hold it just the right way and push down just the right amount, I think there's like hidden ink here in this little camel hump on the back, you know? That's actually pretty cool. It's very scrapey and scratchy, like I have to apply a weird amount of pressure. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing, but look at this. Look at it, it keeps going. It's like unlimited ink in there. Could write a whole novel at this point. This is still all on one dip. All the other pens ran out long ago. I don't like the noise or the feeling, but you gotta admit, it's got volume. Wow, maybe a whole series of novels. It's literally endless. Maybe I should have started writing something useful. I feel like I wasted a big opportunity here. Well, I mean, so that's a special nib. I definitely didn't get it right up here, but now that I feel like I learned how to use it a little more, well, maybe it's done now. It's very interesting. I've never really had anything like that before. And it's all dry already too. Except for these very first strokes where I lay it on real thick. Pretty cool. All right, let's try the red. Wait, I want to try this cool nib right here. Looks like some crazy spearhead. You ever watch that movie Constantine? That crazy spear that gave that guy crazy powers? That's what this reminds me of. I mean, look at that. That's a sick pen. Hope it works. Oh yeah, that was some good suction on that one. Oh, that's kind of a bad noise. It was like nails on a chalkboard noise. I can do my fake language here. This nib feels very flexible. It's like I'm writing with a long fingernail or something, like a long fake fingernail. I like the shade of red though. And I like how it sounds on the paper. Sometimes with these metal nibs, it's just very satisfying the way it scrapes and scratches across the paper. You gotta agree. So I mean, I don't know. I feel pretty good about this set. I mean, there's a wide variety of nibs, wide variety of holders. Actually, three holders that act the same. They just look slightly different if you're into things that look slightly different but act the same. But really, the great nib variety, 3 different inks that seem to work pretty good. I don't know if they're waterproof or not. They just say ink on them. Really, I'm just writing this right now because I feel like this might make a cool thumbnail if I write a couple more lines of this fake language that looks vaguely oriental, actually maybe extremely oriental. Really, these squares are just like little doodles. Little doodle squares that belong to themselves, each kind of self-contained, but they amount to a larger piece too, once they're all together. One more row, I think. Or, on the other hand, I could actually be writing something in a secret language, and I'm just trying to make you think that it doesn't mean anything. It could be either thing. It could be either way. It's hard to say, actually. I do want to try out one more nib, if you'll allow me. There's one more that catches my eye. So this one right here, because it also has a little hump on its back, which I think maybe is that for holding more ink or something. Let's try it out. Whoa. The tip just did something weird right there. It made like a weird cracking noise. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. This is like a little slightly, what is it called? Like a fude nib? Do you see that? How it's like slightly bent up at the end there? I didn't even notice that. I feel like it might take a second for this one to get flowing. Or maybe I don't think I used it all up. This one makes a totally different scratching noise. Very satisfying in a totally different way, though. There really is, you kind of have to get used to different nibs. Like you have to press on them different ways to keep the ink flowing. Different angles. Yeah, this one, I feel like also maybe like the first few lines sometimes you draw with these don't work very well, but once they get flowing, it's a lot better. What do you guys think? I don't know how, off the top of my head, how much this whole set costs. Actually, I don't even know if it's for sale right now. I think it is for sale. Okay, I just looked. It's at least on, they have an Etsy where you can buy this kit for 25 bucks. Which, considering the price of some things I've seen, I feel like that's a pretty good deal. If you're trying to get into this thing for the wide variety, just of nibs you're getting, inks. It's a huge variety, I think, is the major selling point that I would say here. I mean, just look at this piece of paper here. You know, I only tried out like 1/5 of the nibs. And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here. 25 bucks seems okay. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. I think it might be available on Amazon too. I'll figure it out before I post the video, obviously. This guy he's like a local guy, I think, that lives just down, like the next town over from me, so. I don't know, maybe I'm trying to support local business, but that's not my ultimate goal, obviously. My ultimate goal is to review the pens and tell you what I think about them. And I think they're okay. I would not discourage you from buying these if you're trying to get into dip pens. I think it's a great starter kit, even a good gift. I'm not personally super into dip pens just because you have to keep dipping them, but a lot of people are. So go for it, I say. Should I try drawing a picture with these now? I think I could be interested in drawing a picture with these if I use, I want to use black ink, so I will. And I'll use one of these nibs that I like. Let's do it. So yeah, another video where I unbox the pen and review it for tens of minutes, and then there's just a little bit of drawing at the end. But at least, unlike the last video where I reviewed a pen, I actually am drawing again. Peter does draw instead of just Peter. But that's the nature of these pen reviews, I guess. And I know I've been doing a lot of pen reviews lately. I have been doing a lot of drawing still, but most of that's just been in my sketchbook at school and stuff like that. So just a different division of my time and energies and stuff. I have been posting some of my sketchbook pictures and stuff on Instagram. If you've been watching those, every now and then I do a flip through here. But so I just read a comment, going back to this pen, I just read a comment on the previous video where I reviewed that Tombow pen. The person said, good idea, but I'm also like, why? Maybe the next pen will be more of an inspiration. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to with this pen. Like, this dip pen here, like maybe the quality, like the materials, like this is not of breathtaking quality here, right? But that's not always what we look for. I think this pen is just that. More of an inspiration. There's different fun little nibs. There's some novelty nibs, right? Some actual useful nibs. And I also almost want to say that a couple of those nibs that didn't work very well, I'm very ready to blame myself for those, because there were a couple other nibs that didn't work well at first, and I just held the nib a different way, pressed down a different way, and then it started working great. So maybe like that one flat, like calligraphy nib and stuff like that, maybe I just wasn't doing it right. So I like this set. It's great. And anyone out there who this wouldn't work well for, I feel like would already be like a calligraphy professional, and they already know what they want far beyond this, right? So I feel like this could be good for a lot of people. At least by the time you've tried out a few of the nibs, you've got you've gotten started. I feel like me personally, a lot of the time I just buy art supplies just to get myself re-inspired again. And this is a fun way to do that. Plus you get a good supply of ink. I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time with these videos recommending recommending the pens I'm reviewing without feeling like I'm sounding like a sellout or something. But I do like this set. I like it. Yeah, so check it out if you want. As far as the drawing goes, I try to keep it simple. I did like drawing with this pen. I used the one that's like what's it called, like a Fude nib, the one that was bent down. It felt like drawing with. It was just kind of a little bit of a scrape, a little bit smooth, kind of like drawing with crusted butter. I enjoyed it. Just going slow and carefully, and I didn't draw for too long, maybe just an hour or two. But I like how it turned out. Still, dip pens aren't my favorite thing to draw with just because I'm always afraid of a drip or this or that. I mean, our technology has come so far past dip pens. They're fun, and I'm sure a lot of people have use for them, but personally, it's just if I'm going to sit down and do like a serious drawing, I want a more serious pen, right? I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. We're all allowed to have preferences, and that's okay. Yeah. I think also with the dip pens, it's hard to take them places. You got to take your ink, you got to take your pen and the nib and some little boxes. There's no putting these in your pocket. There are some other dip pens on Amazon and stuff that, they have like little caps you can put on them, but still it's just not the most mobile thing ever. So, and that's not what it's all about sometimes. It's not always, everyone has different priorities. So I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that's probably why I wouldn't use these regularly. It's hard to like switch gears all the time. If I get used to using one pen, I don't want to switch over. Like it's like switching between, drive one car to work that has the seat set in one place and the steering wheel up here, and then drive a car back from work that has the seat way up here and the steering wheel way down. It just feels weird to switch all the time. It feels when you're drawing a lot and you're getting into art, you kind of want the pen, the way it works, what you're holding in your hand and the paper, to be the least of your worries, to not always having to be, readjusting mentally to how to physically draw the lines. You want it to be more of a mental game of what to draw. At least that's how it is for me. That's personally why I don't find myself using a lot of dip pens, just because I can't use them in as many places as easily. Yeah, check them out. There's a link in the description. And I'll see y'all later. Let me know if there's any other dip pens you want me to review. I've got some more coming up. Any other pens at all. I don't really know where this channel is going, but I'm still making some videos. It's good to see all of you. Thank you. All right. I love you. Bye.